The Last of Us has been acclaimed for its immersive and emotional storytelling, but also for its representation of a post-apocalyptic world invaded by a fungus that turns humans into monstrous infected. But, is the fungus in The Last of Us a scientific reality or simply a fictional creation by the game developers? Its existence is real, and we are going to explain.
Sometimes millions of people die, as in an actual war, but in the end, we always win.
But you, just to be clear, you do think microorganisms pose a threat?
Oh, in the most dire terms.
Bacteria?
No. You
like saying no?
Yes.
Not bacteria, not viruses, so...
Fungus. Yes, that's the usual response. Fungi seem harmless enough. Many species know otherwise, because there are some fungi who seek not to kill, but to control.
But how can a fungus turn humans into horrible creatures? Well, there are real-life fungi that can cause diseases in humans. In fact, there are more than 5 million species of fungi on Earth, and most of them are harmless. But some can be dangerous and have devastating effects on humans and other animals. The fungus may be a fictional creation. It is inspired by real-life fungi. It is important to note that there are real-life fungi that can cause serious diseases. Coccidioidomycosis is just one of many diseases that can be caused by fungi, and it is important to take precautions to avoid exposure to these organisms. The Last of Us in the 2023 adaptation by HBO. The opening likely came as quite the surprise. Instead of opening with Sarah giving Joel his birthday present, we instead jump back to 1968, where we see an epidemiologist named Dr. Newman warn the world of a fungus called Cordyceps, which can take over the minds of ants and bend them to their will.
Viruses can make us ill, but fungi can alter our very minds. There's a fungus that infects insects, gets inside an ant, for example, travels through its circulatory system to the ant's brain, and then floods it with hallucinogens, thus bending the ant's mind to its will. Fungus starts to direct the ant's behavior, telling it where to go, what to do, like a puppeteer with a marionette. And it gets worse. The fungus needs food to live, so it begins to devour its host from within, replacing the ant's flesh with its own. But it doesn't let its victim die, no. It keeps its puppet alive by preventing decomposition.
In the world of The Last of Us, which, although grounded for a zombie show and game, is still full of impossible creatures and abominations. One might be forgiven for assuming that the court accepts fungus is a fictional creation. However, we regret to inform you that the Cordyceps fungus is real, and it's just as scary as it sounds, much like the scientist discussed in the premiere. There are types of fungi that feed on the living. One such fungus as OCO, Cordyceps, unilateralists, which National Geographic reported on in 2019. The fungus floods ants' brains with chemicals, takes over their muscles and controls them to move to the perfect height and temperature for the fungus to grow, then spreads its spores to control even more ants. There are a couple of differences between how this fungus works and how it works in humans in The Last of Us. For starters, although it affects the ants' brains, it doesn't actually invade them, as scientists found no fungal cells within the ants' brains. That means that the fungal outgrowths found in infected such as clickers in the show and games wouldn't be possible with this fungus, even if it were somehow able to infect humans. There is another fungus that does create a scarily similar outgrowth from the head. According to National Geographic, the fungus OCO Cordyceps sinensis can form a growth from the heads of moth caterpillars. While you couldn't pay us enough to go anywhere near those things, the infected caterpillars are actually used in traditional Tibetan and Chinese medicine to cure all sorts of diseases.
The fungus is in control. The fly sticks out its mouth part and spits out a tiny drop of sticky liquid. That glues the fly down, sealing its fate. A few minutes later, its wings shoot up, and it dies. Now that the fungus has forced the fly into this death pose, wings out of the way, nothing can stop it. It emerges. tiny spore launchers burst out of the fly's skin. Hundreds of spores shoot out at high speed, catching a breeze if the fly climbed high enough. They're the next generation of killer fungus.
Imagine an alternate universe to The Last of Us where instead of causing an infected horde, the Cordyceps fungus becomes a popular snack to boost humans' digestion. But these aren't the only fungi that can take over their hosts' minds. According to National Geographic, the dental moth ramachi, translated from Greek as insect destroyer of the fly, is able to take over flies' actions and cause them to fly to the perfect height for spore dispersal, which it does before then striking a death pose the perfect angle for the fungus to grow from its corpse and spread more spores. There is also the massive sporus decay DNA, which drugs its cicada hosts so much that it causes its abdomen to partially fall off. The rest is similar to what other fungi do to their hosts. Move it to an ideal climate for spreading spores. Kill it, then take over its body and do it all over again. The one thing consistent in all of these cases, however, is that infection occurs exclusively through airborne spore dispersal, an element that was present in the games but was removed from the HBO show. The Last of Us certainly did its homework. The part about infecting its hosts by biting them appears to be purely the work of zombie fiction. If you would like to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. We'll see you in the next Bang Vision video.